came from a family that was only, I guess, all I seen was them selling, drugs. Growing up, all the men in my life, that's what I seen was okay. I went to CPS and I was there for a while because my father was not around. My mother ended up being incarcerated. So me being the youngest of us, I was kind of like house to house, bunch to bunch. After I got out of CPS, I was, I guess, seeking my own life, my own family, and I wanted, I guess, that man in my life to kind of make me a better, I guess, I thought it was going to be better for me to have that other half. When I met him, he was working and doing his side thing, selling drugs, and I guess because growing up I seen that was fine, so that was okay for me. Had both of my beautiful children, and he had already gotten in trouble a few times, and the last time was, I guess, the most important was when our home had got raided. All I remember is them banging down all the windows and the doors and tearing up the house inside out. I remember calling everybody in my phone, my sisters, my friends, my best friends. I'm like, I need y'all help. This just happened. Come help me clean this house because they're gonna come back and take the kids. Him being incarcerated, going to jail, in that time, I just knew that that's not the life I wanted for my kids. And I wrote him a letter and I was like, you know what, I can't move forward with this kind of lifestyle. I can't move forward writing you letters or not knowing when you come out if you're going to come do the same thing or if you're gonna go to work. I left it at that. I stayed single for a year. My first love, I guess you can say, from middle school came up. He popped up out of nowhere and I was like, wow, like, where did you come from? So of course those feelings were immediate because first boyfriend, first love. He lived in Vegas at the time. He was already doing very well for himself. He just made everything sound wonderful. We started a long distance relationship. I would visit there, he would visit here. And finally he was like, move out here with me. The first 2.5 years was nice. Then soon after that, I was like, well, I think I need to start working because I've been in the medical field for a while. That's whenever the other side of him came out where it was like, no, I'm supposed to be working, and because I make the money, it's what I say. A very dark side came out. Sorry. It turned out that he had a drug addiction. His addiction had got worse because he could not handle the fact that I had friends that I was doing stuff where I'd say, hey, I'm gonna go hang out, or little by little it started to get physical. The last time I remember he came home, it was almost like he didn't even know who I was. And next thing you know, he just started beating me. All I remember is at one point where even I blacked out and I was just so furious and angry. The only thing that kept going through my mind is that I want to kill this man. The neighbor heard us and kind of kicked in the door a little and had to get me off of him, had called the cops. He had went to jail and I had made my mind up, I need to leave. I was in fear. So I came back home and, I was angry, I was depressed. And for 2 years, I just isolated myself. I isolated the kids. I was completely broken. I was completely empty. I don't even know that I was even loving the kids right. And so that's whenever I remember, I was like, I need to get them to church. I didn't know that I was worthy enough for God's love at that time. But I knew that I wanted that for the kids. And that's when you first came up. It was the family camp. For me, I was like, I don't really want to go, but the parents had to go with the kids. So I was like, okay, I was like, guys, we're going to go to this family camp. It's with the church. I've never been, but I guess it's okay, That's whenever I was like, okay, let me get them involved on the Wednesday nights. I could do Wednesday, but I wasn't ready for Sunday. Finally, one day I went and I was like, well, let me check the bookstore out. because I like to read. So I was like, well, let me see if I find something, you know. And as soon as I walked in, the cash register, she's like, oh, you buying the Armor of God? I thought it was just a book she was trying to sell me. And she's like, no, they actually have a class. Go to the class, you know, and see if you like it, and then you can come back. So I go to the class, and a different lady comes in, and she's like, you know, I just bought this book, and we went through the service, and she gave it to me. She's like, no, I bought the book, but I don't even think I'm going to take the class. The book is for you. Like, she was definitely adamant on giving me the book, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll take the book. My heart was not ready out, but I knew whatever that tug of war was going on inside me that's where I needed to be. I ended up going through the whole book lessons every Wednesday, and going and remembering how to put on the armor of God. The beatings, the hate words, what the enemy had put inside my head was where he wanted to leave me, dead and gone. Committing to going to the church, he just let me know that that's not where I have to stay. Ever since then, I've been growing. I've been back on fire, back loving myself, most importantly, loving my children better. God has put 2 wonderful young men in my life. Now I can say I can give my battles to him. Now I know I can say, you know what, I'm stepping back, you take care of it. And now I can walk through that every day, knowing that no matter my situation, no matter I'm still a single parent, he's still there.